You will beg for water and will never see. You all will perish and cry.
Imagine watching your child cry, not for food, but for water, and there is none. No river. No well. Nothing. That was the fate of an entire village, after they made one terrible mistake. They had water, more than enough, but when a weak old woman begged them, they said no. They mocked and condemned her. That same night, their river stopped flowing. Days later, the land cracked open. Crops died. Children began to fall sick. And one by one, people started dying. But just when the village thought it was over, something impossible happened. And what followed next, no one could explain. Relax and enjoy.
They said the sun had not set for 100 years, but today, it felt wrong. The sky hung heavy, grey and silent, as if holding its breath. The villagers of Ihiala whispered to each other, their voices trembling. No rain. Not a drop. Not even the morning dew. The old well at the center of the village lay gone. Cracked. Empty. A skeleton of the life it once gave. Children stared at the barren earth, their small hands clutching nothing but dust. The goats bleated in hunger. The fowls crowed in confusion. Even the river at the edge of the forest had turned to droplets. And then, she arrived. No one knew her name. No one dared speak to her. The old woman came from the mountains, shrouded in tattered cloth, her eyes sharp as knives. And yet, she carried a bucket of water. She approached the village square, slowly. Every step, deliberate. The villagers, some curious, most fearful, gathered to watch. Water, for all of you, she said. Her voice was soft, but it carried an edge of warning. But the village elders, proud, stubborn, and greedy, they laughed. You, an old crone from the mountains, you would bring water to us? We have our own wells. We need nothing from strangers. The old woman's eyes narrowed. She tilted her head and whispered something the wind carried to the trees.
You will beg for water and will never see. You all will perish and cry.
You will thirst forever. The villagers laughed again, louder this time. Go back to your mountains, they shouted. Take your threats with you. The old woman left, and the air grew heavier. That night, the wind died. The crickets were silent. Even the stars seemed to hide behind clouds. The next morning, the well was gone. Not broken. Not dry. Gone. The villagers ran to the river, only to find it empty, its bed cracked like ancient bones. The goats had fallen silent. The chickens did not stir. And then, the first coughs began. It was a dry, rattling cough. One child. Then another. Fear spread faster than the sun could rise. The elders, still stubborn, whispered among themselves. Perhaps it is just a curse of the mind, of imagination. But by the third day, the crops were dying. Corn withered. Cassava shriveled. Millet cracked to dust in the sun. The village dogs whimpered in the streets. Even the birds had fled. And through it all, the old woman's words echoed.
You shall see, but not taste water. Your children will beg, but no help.
You have refused water, you will thirst forever. By the fifth day, the villagers had no choice. They sent a boy to the mountains. A messenger to plead, to beg for mercy. The boy returned, eyes wide with fear. She is gone, he said. No water. No mercy. Only silence. Panic began to rise. Fear became a living thing in the village square. People clawed at empty soil. Mothers cried for their children. Elders wailed at their own foolish pride. And in the dead of night, the wind returned, carrying whispers. From the mountains, from the shadows, from nowhere.
You shall see, but not taste water. Your children will beg, but no help.
The villagers did not sleep that night. No one closed their eyes. And from somewhere deep within the forest, a sound rose. A low, gurgling, growing noise, like water trying to fight its way back. But it was not water they would drink, not yet. And one small girl, peering from the edge of the village, felt her heart tighten. Something was coming. Something they could not stop. The morning came, but it was not light. The sun had risen, yet the village of Ihiala lay under a strange haze, a golden-brown fog that seemed to drink the air. The wind whispered through the empty streets, carrying the dry scent of dust and despair. No one dared step outside their homes. The well remained gone. The river had vanished completely. Its cracked bed yawned like the mouth of a great beast, swallowing any hope of water. Even the livestock seemed to sense the curse. The goats huddled in corners, the chickens were silent, and dogs whimpered as if mourning the earth itself. The villagers gathered in the square. Their eyes were wide, their mouths dry. Fear had replaced pride. The elders, who had laughed at the old woman, now bowed their heads. Some even whispered apologies to the wind, as though it might carry their words to her. But it was too late. The curse had already begun. It started with the children. One by one, they felt a burning thirst that could not be quenched. Their tongues cracked. Their lips split. Their cries were hoarse, yet no water could soothe them. Parents screamed. They tore through the streets, begging, clawing at the dry earth, but the land refused them. Even when they dug deeper into the riverbed, only dust and despair met their hands. By midday, the villagers' fear became anger. They accused one another. "Why did we not welcome her?" one man shouted. "She warned us," cried a woman, her eyes wild with terror. But words did not bring water. They did not bring mercy. The sky darkened. Clouds swirled as though angry. Thunder rolled across the horizon, a distant drumbeat of warning. And then, the first sign of the old woman returned. A figure appeared at the edge of the forest. Her silhouette was frail, yet it exuded power. She did not speak. She did not smile. But her eyes, those sharp, piercing eyes, scanned the village. The villagers fell silent. A shiver passed through the air. Even the children, their mouths dry and trembling, stopped crying. They knew. The curse was watching. That night, the fog thickened. It crept into homes, curling around walls, seeping under doors. By candlelight, villagers watched the shadows stretch unnaturally across floors, moving as if alive. And from the depths of the fog came whispers. Low, raspy, carried by the wind.
You will beg for water and will never see. You all will perish and cry.
You refused water, now face the thirst. Sleep became impossible. No one rested. No one ate. Even the strongest men and women felt their strength drain away. The village square, once filled with life and laughter, became a tomb of whispers and fear. By the third night, the plants that had survived the first days were curling into themselves, shriveling under the sunless haze. Corn stalks cracked. Cassava leaves drooped like sorrowful hands. Millet shattered into dust before it could grow. The villagers wept. Some even clawed at the soil with bare hands, desperate to find moisture. The elders realized something terrifying. This was not a curse that could be escaped by apology alone. No offerings. No pleas. No tears. It demanded penance. And the village had none left to give. In the middle of the chaos, a small girl emerged. Her name was Adiz, and unlike others, she still moved with purpose. She had seen the old woman's approach in her dreams, felt the heat of the curse in the earth beneath her feet, and knew the answer was not in begging. Adiz whispered to herself, "Perhaps there is a way to return what was lost." She crept through the empty streets, carrying a small clay pot she had hidden days before. She did not tell anyone where she was going. Even the elders, lost in despair, would not have dared follow. As Adiz approached the riverbed, she noticed something strange. Beneath the cracked earth, in a narrow channel, a faint shimmer of water pulsed, like a heartbeat. Her heart raced. Could it be a chance? But as she reached to touch it, the wind screamed, carrying the old woman's voice. You seek what you refused, but will you pay the price? Adiz froze. She thought of the villagers, parched and desperate, and knew the curse demanded more than courage. It demanded sacrifice. Back in the village, the elders argued furiously. Some said they should abandon the children. Others insisted on climbing the mountains to confront the old woman. But every attempt to move, every plan to act, failed. The earth itself seemed to resist them. That night, the fog thickened further. Shadows became darker, moving with intent. And from the sky, the faintest sound of water, trickling, distant, mocking. The villagers wept. The curse had not yet ended. And in the heart of the forest, the old woman watched. Her eyes glimmered with ancient knowledge, and the wind carried a single message, clear as stone. You have refused water, now live with the thirst until one proves worthy. Adiz stared at the shimmer of water beneath the cracked earth. Her hands trembled. Her heart pounded. Something had to be done, and only she could try. But the question remained. Would the village survive her attempt, or would the curse claim them all before dawn? The night was darker than the village of Ihiala had ever known. A thick fog hugged every corner, curling around huts and trees like living shadows. Even the wind had gone silent, leaving the villagers alone with their thirst. No child slept. No mother rested. All that remained was fear and the waiting. In the heart of the village square, Adiz stood, clutching her small clay pot. Her eyes glimmered with determination, though terror churned in her stomach. Beneath the cracked riverbed, the faint shimmer of water pulsed like a heartbeat. It was as if the earth itself was taunting her, daring her to take it. She whispered to herself, I must try, or we are all lost. Adiz knelt, her fingers trembling, and dug into the dry soil. The water shimmered brighter, but the ground fought her, splitting, cracking, throwing up dust that stung her eyes. From the forest, a shadow moved, the old woman. Her eyes gleamed in the fog, sharp as the edge of a knife. You have come, she said. Her voice was calm, yet it carried the weight of a storm. Do you understand what you seek? Adiz swallowed her fear. I seek to save my village. Please, let them drink. The old woman's lips curled into a faint, unsettling smile. Then you must prove yourself, for water is not given to those who refuse it. A gust of wind tore through the village, lifting dust into the air. The fog thickened, obscuring everything except the glimmer of water beneath Adiz's hands. She felt it pull at her, almost alive, almost conscious. And then the whispers began. Low, soft, echoing voices carried from nowhere.
You will beg for water and will never see. You all will perish and cry.
You refused water, now face your thirst. Adiz gritted her teeth. She dug deeper. Her fingers bled. Her palms cracked. Her breath came in ragged gasps. The earth trembled beneath her. Cracks widened like mouths waiting to swallow her whole. From the forest, the old woman raised her hands. Thunder rolled across the horizon, deep and low. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the villagers' terrified faces. The elders fell to their knees, clutching each other, pleading. But it was too late. And then it happened. A sudden surge of water exploded from the riverbed. But it was not gentle. It surged like a wave of molten silver, twisting and writhing, hissing as it spilled over the cracked earth. The villagers stumbled back, mouths open in disbelief. The water glowed faintly, as if carrying the wrath of the mountains themselves. Adiz stepped forward, holding her clay pot. She poured herself a single cup, and drank. The water was cold, alive, and it burned away the thirst inside her. The old woman's voice rose, echoing over the village. You have dared to act when all others hesitated. But courage alone is not enough. Will you share it? Or will selfishness ruin all you have gained? Adiz lifted the cup, eyes blazing. I will share it. Every drop. Every person. Every child. Slowly, the water spread through the village square. It seeped into the riverbed, replenished the wells, trickled into every home. The fog lifted. The sun peeked through clouds. The earth drank and shivered, alive again. But the villagers did not rejoice immediately. They had seen their pride punished. They had felt the thirst deep in their bones. And in their hearts, They knew the old woman's power had not been defeated, only appeased. The old woman remained at the edge of the forest. Her eyes met Adi's one last time. "You have learned humility," she whispered. "Do not forget, water is life, and life demands respect." Then she vanished into the trees, leaving only silence and a village forever changed. The villagers knelt, mouths dry, hands trembling, some weeping, some silently thanking Adi's. Children touched the water with small fingers, marveling at the cool liquid that had once been denied them. And yet, one thought lingered, heavy, unspoken. Had the curse truly ended, or was it only sleeping, waiting for another moment of greed? Adiz looked at the river, now full, shining in the morning light. She felt hope. She felt fear. She felt responsibility heavier than ever. But she also felt something else. A thrill. A story to tell. And as she lifted her gaze toward the mountains, she knew. The next test, the next lesson, was only beginning.